Hello, welcome to a new video. This is going to be a really chill video because I have got a headache and it's also my lunch break at work. So yes, I do have Christmas tree up. If you haven't watched my vlog, we put the Christmas trees up on the 4th of November. 4th of November. So yeah, but as the title and thumbnail suggest, this is an unhaul video. So I have one of these books that's got a bit of dust on. I'm getting distracted by it. So I've got quite a few books. It's not my biggest unhaul, but these are books that I've been thinking about unhauling for a while. So now I'm doing it. So first off, I've got a couple of preemptive unhauls. So there's a couple of books that I am currently in the process of reading or going to be reading before the end of the year, which I'm just going to put on this unhaul because this is going to be my last unhaul of the year. So I'm going to put them on this unhaul because I know that once I've read them, I'm not keeping them. So first up, we have Battle Royale. Now, I am like over halfway through. I am really enjoying this book. However, there are parts that are making me feel sick, so I know for a fact I'm never going to reread this. I'm glad I'm reading it. I'm glad I can say soon that I have read this book. I am having a mostly good time with it, but I'm not going to reread it. So, and it's a chunky book, so I'm not going to keep it when I'm not going to reread it. So yeah, this one's going to go. Also on my currently reading is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Again, I am currently reading this. I am only like 50-ish pages into it. I'm a little bit bored with this, so I know I'm not going to reread this one. If I decide, if this ends up being my favourite book ever, I might not unhaul it. But as it stands right now, this is going to be unhauled once I've finished it. So yeah. Next up, we have the Secret Circle trilogy. Now, I've got the last book to read because yeah, this is 2 books and I said trilogy because they put 1.5 in this book and 1.5 in this book, and I still hate that they did that. I refuse to unhaul these. As much as I've been hating them, I refuse to unhaul until I've at least read all 3 once, because Liv went to so much trouble to get me this to match this because they like discontinued that cover, that I need to have at least read it once. However, I will not be keeping it once I've read that story because I despise this trilogy. TV show was better. Another series that I have the 4th book is the Larton Crepsley series. I need to read the 4th book. I'll be reading it in December. Me and Ash are going to be buddy reading it, but then I am unhauling this series along with the Sakuda Freak series. Now, I've had a good time rereading and reading. However, these are my least favourite Darren Shan, and I don't think I'm ever going to reread them again. And when I reread this series, I didn't remember anything that happened from when I read it when I was a kid, when I got them from the library. So, and if I had, I probably wouldn't have reread. Because there was a lot that just really annoyed me. So I will be getting rid of these. I'm keeping my other Darren Shan books, the Demon Artist series and the Zombie series, because I absolutely adore those 2 series. But I will not be keeping these because I'm not going to reread them. And if I do want to reread them, my library has the ebooks and the physical books. So if I do get a sudden urge to reread them, which I won't, but if I do, then I'll get them from the library. But yeah, these are going to go once I've read the 4th book, this one. Next up, we have The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. I enjoyed this, don't get me wrong. I have recently read the 1st book, which I should have read first anyway. And I enjoyed that. However, not going to reread these. They're not like my favourite romances ever, so I will not be keeping this one. Because I don't have the 1st book either. I audiobooked that and I just didn't have the best time, so they're going. Next, we have As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. Now, the only reason this is going, so this is my copy that I read. However, Liv had the signed sprayed edge edition of this, and Liv DNF'd it. So Liv gave me her signed sprayed edge edition. So I'm unhauling my plain edition because I don't need 2 of this book that look the same on the cover. So I'm going to get rid of this. I absolutely love this book. It's one of my favourite books of the year. However, it's not red edges and signed, so this one's going. Next is The Switch by Beth O'Leary. I just don't have any interest. I wasn't a massive fan of The Flat Share, and I just have absolutely no interest in reading anything by Beth O'Leary because I just did not really like it. So yeah, it's going. Next is another duplicate one. It's Crave by Tracy Wolfe. I've obviously got the paperback. I got rid of the paperback for Crush a while back because I had the hardback for Crush a while back. I have now got the hardback for Crave, so it's time to part with my beautiful floppy paperback. I'm really sad that they've decided to like basically abandon the publishing for the paperbacks, because the hardbacks are deckled edges and I hate deckled edges, and the paperbacks were super floppy, but it's fine. It's fine as long as I've got a copy of that book. It's fine. It's fine. Next we have The Handover by David M. Barnett. I read this for Lisa and Jem's Barely Adult In book club, a podcast rather. We all hated this book. Like, I rage read this. It was terrible. So this book's going because I don't want it anymore. Next is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I don't think this is going to be for me. It's not the sort of romance that I will read. When I first read the blurb, I thought it was, and then I found out that it is very much, everyone I've heard talks about it being like steamy and that, but I have been told there's no smut in this, and I got it thinking it would have good smut. So it is the pettiest thing, because it's probably a great story, but my pettiness cannot, because I bought it thinking it would have smut, and now I know it doesn't. I have no interest whatsoever. And I'm not saying that in the sense that if a book doesn't have smut, I don't care about it, because I've read plenty of romances that don't have smut. But because I bought it thinking it would, now I can't get that out of my head, and it's going to disappoint me. So I'm just not going to do that to myself. Next we have The Falling in Love montage by Kiara Smith. I really enjoyed this. It was a cute read. However, I am not going to reread it, so it's going. Next we have a whole series. It is the 13 series by Michelle Harrison, and I think One Wish is part of the series as well. I've read the first book and it was okay, but I just didn't love it as much as I loved the Pinch of Magic series. So I'm keeping the Pinch of Magic series, but I just have no motivation to continue this series. But if I ever do, my mum has them, and she's read all of them, and she's probably not getting rid of hers because she really enjoyed the series. But I just have no motivation. But if I do, my mum has them, so why do I need to keep them? Next we have The Whitby Witches by Robin Jarvis. This was a book that I picked up in the works for like £2 because I was a victim of a good deal. And it sounds really good, don't get me wrong. I'm not as into middle grade as I used to be. Like, there are a few other middle grade series that I've got that I know once I've read the final book I will get rid of them, but they're ones that I do want to finish the series, unlike this series. But I'm getting really fussy with middle grades that I read that are from new authors, and this one just doesn't sound like it's pulling me in as much as it did when I first read the blurb, so this one's going. Next we have Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. I really enjoyed this book when I read it, however I don't think I'll reread it. It's a YA, technically it's contemporary, but it's got like a twist to it, like a time travel Groundhog Day situation, and I'm not as into a lot of YA anymore, and this isn't one that I'll reread, so I'm not keeping it. Next we have a couple of proofs that I was sent. This is actually a finished copy, I believe. It's got like a barcode and everything, so I think this is a finished copy, but it is Lycanthropy and Other Chronic Illnesses by Kristen O'Neill. I wasn't a fan of this book. I read it all, but it was a 3-star. It was fine, but also it wasn't fine, and it rubbed me up the wrong way, so I don't want it anymore. I was gonna send this to I am gonna take this to the charity shop because it has a barcode. I don't think this was a proof. I think this was a finished copy, so that can go to the charity shop. Another proof was Circling Back to You by Julie Tiu. I can't actually remember if I finished this book or if I DNF'd it. I think I did finish it, and I wasn't a fan again. It was a romance that I just didn't connect with. This is a proof, so this I will see if any friends want, and if not, I don't know. Yelp's coming up. They usually have a book swap thing, so I might just like put it on the book swap shelf. We'll see. I don't know yet. Next we have Rhapsodic and A Strange Hymn by Laura Thalassa. These are the original covers of them, so I might put these on eBay because I feel like someone is going to want the original covers of these and maybe don't have all of them. I really loved Rhapsodic. It was so good, and then I DNF'd A Strange Hymn, so I don't need these. Next up we have Set on You by Amy Leah. I DNF'd this. I hated it so much, so I'm also getting rid of X's and O's because it's like the influencer series and I know I'm gonna hate it, so it's not happening. Next we have the whole Cogheart series by Peter Bunzel. I read the first book, I liked it, it was cute. I'm not going to continue the series, and if I do, my library has the audiobooks, so if I do suddenly one day be like, oh, I really want to continue the Cogheart series, libraries exist for me. I don't need it. This was when I discovered Books to Door and was just buying sets of books, whole series, when I hadn't read any of them. So yeah, the whole series is going. Next we have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I'm still really sad I DNF'd this, but it is nothing on the book, it's just it had a trigger in that I couldn't bring myself to carry on reading. I tried, but it didn't happen. So yeah, this one's going, sadly. I'm sad about that. Then we have You Say It First by Katie Cotogno. So when I got this book, I was in a different relationship and very much sounded like me and my partner at the time, and I thought it was a great sounding read. I don't want to read this anymore because I've realized no, it doesn't sound like a good read. So yeah, this is going because I have no emotional attachment to it, and I forgot to put it in my last unhaul because it was buried at the bottom of my book tray and I forgot it existed. So yeah. Next we have The Sea Witch duology by Sarah Henning, so Sea Witch and Sea Witch Rising. I really enjoyed this, however I'm never going to reread it. It's not a series I'll reread, so these are going. They're the pretty hardbacks, so I might see if anyone wants them because I don't want to just take hardbacks like this to the charity shop. We'll see. Next was Norma by Sophie Oxanen. I DNF'd this. I was really looking forward to it, and then I finally read it and I just didn't like it, so it's going. Next we have Burn by TJ Klune, and another TJ Klune. I have not read this, however I no longer have any interest in it, and I think it's partly because this was written a little bit before Wolf Song, which I hated, and I think it's going to have the same like writing style as that. So I'm just going to get rid of it. I did only buy this for like £1 or like 50p or something in my local charity shop, so it's not like I spent a lot of money on it. And then the final book is The Dance Tree by Kira Mild Hargrave. I'm really sad about this because it is a beautiful sprayed edge edition. However, I did not like this book. She has beautiful writing and that's the only reason I finished this book, but the actual story, I was not a fan. So yeah, this one's going because I'm not going to reread it ever. Okay, so that was my on-haul. Let's count the books. That is 51 books. I'm actually really happy with that. Technically it's 50 books, but obviously The Secret Circle, there's 3 books, like 3 stories in 2 books, so I'm counting it as 51, not 50, because it's 3 books, not 2. But yeah, that was my unhaul. I'm quite happy with that. I feel like maybe there is some others that I could have unhauled as well, but these are the ones that stood out to me the most, so these are the ones that are going on this unhaul, and anything else can maybe wait until next time. I will say these are probably not going to go to the charity shop for a while. X's and O's is afterlight edition, so that I'm going to be putting on my eBay to see if I can get my money back at least. This is going to go on eBay. I might put these on eBay and then these on eBay, but apart from that, if there is anything from this that you would like, let me know. And if you're willing to pay postage, you can have the books for free. I don't want anything other than postage for them. Like, the rest is all gonna just go to the charity shop. Battle Royale's already been spoken for, so that will be a no. But anything else, feel free to message me. I'm not gonna be able to go to the charity shop for like at least a few weeks, so if you see this, please feel free to drop me a message. You can comment on the video or you can DM me on Twitter or Instagram. But yeah, that was my unhaul. I'm quite happy with how brutal I was. I wasn't really brutal, but we'll pretend I was. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.